Hello and welcome to another episode of Action Toon Bros.
Hey.
With me today is our lovely guest, Matt Lewis.
Really? Like I'm doubly insulted. I'm not guest. I'm literally the co-host.
You're right. Wait, actually, that's one of those weird things. By the way, Ben Sturgeon's my name. In case you're just new or anything like that.
In the middle of fucking Castlevania season 3 like a freak.
Hey, I mean, some people just want to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is a weird show because we kind of flop who the host is depending on who picked the show.
You mean our show is okay? Yeah, you did the thing where we say like episode twice and we mean episode. You mean this Action Toon Bros is weird because we flip hosts for shows.
No, I'm not talking about like movie garbage or any of your other works. No. Like this one specifically, it's like the host is different because who chose the show.
Yeah. That's a good way. That's a good dynamic to keep things lively for the episode.
And as you said earlier, as Matt said, we are finishing up Season 3 of Castlevania, the Netflix adaptation.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, finally. A Netflix adaptation that's actually good.
I was trying to say, besides this, Arcane's fucking fantastic, but I'm trying to say, what other shows or adaptations, I don't know, I don't follow Netflix shit anyway, so who knows?
Last time I tried one, it was Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that was horrible. But fucking, I don't know, we can start tangenting about fucking that Resident Evil show.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was only one thing that was very prominent that I fucking hated about the show. Otherwise, it was perfectly fine.
What was it? Was it the everything, or was it the breakdancing scene in the middle?
No, that was funny and that actually made sense. But no, the protagonist. Okay, we're already fucking starting off in tangents. Like this is fucking movie garbage. We're gonna spend an hour talking about something else before the episode starts. The main character in that Resident Evil show is fucking terrible. Jade? Her name's Jade. She's
Jade, okay, yeah.
Like, the first scene, she just sucks. Like, you see it's in the future and in the past. She's fucking awful in both. She's really, really shitty.
Honestly, I think Resident Evil has been getting a bad rep recently. Welcome to Raccoon City.
That movie was fun.
Yeah, but it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good, but it was fun.
I'm just talking about the level of good and bad. I'm not saying...
If we didn't already do Resident Evil for movie garbage, I would do that show just to talk about how much I did enjoy it, but it was very bad.
Yeah, I was going to say... And then now we have like the Netflix adaptation of Resident Evil, which was... And not the CG movies. The CG movies like Damnation and some of the other ones, I heard were actually pretty good.
Yeah, mixed things depending on...
But then again, mixed and everything. But that live action adaptation...
What about the fucking Mila Jovovich movies?
but good news for Dead by Daylight players, they introduced another killer from Resident Evil.
Hell yeah.
Motherfucking Wesker.
I hear he's very broken.
His power is good, but he has a Scooby-Doo-ass run. But either way, back on topic.
They should introduce Castlevania to fucking Dead by Daylight. That'd be interesting.
No, they shouldn't do Castlevania dirty like that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's fucking awesome. How dare you? I fucking main Ghostface, and it's a fucking great game.
Well, yeah, because Ghostface is great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a day or two. But
sure.
But so far, up to this point, you have been enjoying this series.
Oh, absolutely!
Right?
I love this show.
Yeah, trust me, I already know a few characters that you already like.
Of course, I won't say we'll cover the season, but yeah, like literally. My opinion of this show is, like, literally 99%. I have, like, one, like, not even a gripe, just, like, a thing I wish was better, but everything else is 100%. This show's, like, across the board, every single thing I love about this show. The action, the art style, the characters and stuff like that. But, like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but like you said...
we said earlier when we first started, like, I know jack shit. I've never played a Castlevania game in my fucking life.
Finally, I'm the resident expert because I've played more. I mean, it's not a lot, and I don't remember some of them, but yay, I get to be the expert this time.
Hell yeah, you are.
Except for when it comes to voice actors. But, I think, however, we should begin, because now we're, episode...
Oh yeah, we're halfway through season 3.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that means halfway through. Yeah, so let's get on with season 3, episode 6, The Good Dream. And where should we start with a good dream but Carmilla's Castle?
Yeah, what the fuck is the name of this? Styria.
Yeah, it's in Styria.
Yep.
And where you see, Hector still being Hector, but he's putting on some clothes.
Yeah, he's actually getting dressed up because Lenora's visiting him. she tells him I'm sure going to go for a little walk, but one little stevia, you need to wear this weird collar because it's kind of required from
you need to wear a literal collar and have me... Striga's one of the ones.
No, Striga said that he needed to wear the collar.
Yeah, Striga was the one. I mean, Hector's like, wait, why are we doing this? Oh, you kind of almost, murdered me that one time. And even Hector's like, but you're like 10 times stronger than me. Why would I... Now, just relax, Hector. Just wear this whole thing. You can go out for it. Fine. And literally, I can't believe she said this. Once Hector said, okay, walkies. Literally treating him like the dog that he is.
Yeah, foreshadowing to what's to come later in the season for them. But they go out and they enjoy the weird, cold mountains of Styria, which look very beautiful, but Hector's like, man, I miss the sun. He's like, hey, come on, that's stupid.
Yeah, Lenore's just like, the night is beautiful. Hector's like, it's cold, it's dark, I want the sun. And Lenore's like, but why? The sun's just, ugh.
Yeah, and then he says, like, well, I mean, Carmilla's dragging me out here. I know she has some kind of weird plans for me. And she's just like, well, yeah, Carmilla has a bit of a temper, but she's smart and she wants your help. And she's actually going to do, again, reminding him the whole plan that Dracula lied about, they actually want to do.
Right. And the more Lenore talks, the more that it's starting to actually make sense. Maybe Dracula was, an insane old codger.
And Carmilla rescued you from his ridiculous plans.
Wait, yeah, well, I wish I wouldn't be getting the shit beat out of me. Hey, just remember, if you would have been dead, if you would have died, well, she would have just killed you.
Yeah, if you would have stayed, you would have died.
Yeah, well, if she wanted you dead, she would have killed you. Yeah. If she wanted you to be in incredible pain, you would have been here, and we'd have to sew you back together, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, that is Carmilla.
Yeah, and then it kind of zooms out and we see Striga and Carmilla listening in, or Striga's listening in. Carmilla's like, what do they say? What's going on?
Yeah, come on, give me the tea, give me the gossip.
Yeah, and she's like, well, Lenore's doing her thing and she's doing it well, but also, like, if we get him on board, how are we going to find bodies for an army? Because we need a ton of them.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, don't worry, one thing at a time. I'm like, you do realize, though, that, beating the crap out of him was not a good idea because, well, we need him.
Yeah, we need him, A, to make them, and B, they'll listen to him when we make them. So
right, yeah. And, of course, Carmilla's like, whoa, relax. One thing at a time. Lenore's got to do her thing, and then we can start thinking about this.
Yeah, and this is when cuts back to Lenore taking Hector back and saying, hey... welcome back to your cell. It's actually a much bigger cell.
To your cage, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. He has a big, gigantic desk for sitting and writing at. And she's like, "See, we're gonna be nice to you, okay? There's a book about vampire magic. You're all set. Don't worry."
Book of vampire magic, a desk and a lamp, so you can actually do some writing and reading. There's a straw bed with an actual cover and a pillow. We're not horrible. We're just vampires. And then we cut right back to Lindenfeld.
Yep. Trevor and Sypha are just chilling out, saying, like, what do you think about Saint Germain? And Trevor's like, I don't trust him, he's hiding something.
Well, not only that, but it's just like, yeah, I don't trust him, but don't you notice something, Sypha? He's sad, he's lonely, he literally confided in us because he needed a friend.
Yeah.
Who do you think that reminds you of? And, she's like, I think we should help him. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, of course.
But on the other hand, you're actually kind of right, though.
Also, right before that, do we see one of those monks like carving the shit in the buildings already?
After they talk,
we see it a couple times because like they later
in this episode actually it was only the one time. Okay. After they had their conversation about helping him, it goes to the side of that building where the one monk is carving another symbol.
Okay. And then we cut to Saint Germain in his bed, and this is probably my biggest fucking question of the fucking season. He imagines him falling into the infinite corridor.
Yep.
And then he sees, he passes, he like screaming for, did he say, what's his love interest's name?
In this entire series, she is never once mentioned by name.
And he's like, he's like saying, like, where are you?
Yeah,
where are you?
And the infinite corridor, I mean, I think, isn't this the first time we actually see
This is the first time we actually see what it looks like, yeah.
And, he's going through different things. Like, you see, like, this weird, like, Egypt-looking
I would say we see we see like a gigantic ziggurat with a group of people running down like some kind of RPG mission.
Right, and we see like the savannah, and then there's like this giant like sci-fi two-legged thingy.
It looks like a Magitech tank from like either 14 or 7, like the bipedal ones.
Right, yeah.
It was like a gigantic one of those, and it runs over him inside the infinite corridor.
Oh, but then we see the strangest one yet. We see a tribal man.
No, wait, before that, there's one more weird one. There's a fucking croissant-shaped...
the moon.
No, yeah, a croissant-shaped spaceship flying up into the air in front of a gigantic blown-up moon.
Yeah, right, yeah. And then we see the weird tribal man.
Yeah.
Which, I'm like, sci-fi weird thing? fantasy-esque weird thing, sci-fi weird thing, man from probably Africa tribe.
Yeah, he's also in front of that like a very specific weird like big giant stone thing in Africa. That's a specific thing. I forgot what it was called, but it's like
not a plateau, is it?
It's not a plateau. It's like it's not the specific rock is called something. It looks like the geode from Steven Universe.
But
like that big black geode thing. But like it's like he's like just standing in front of it, swinging a weird thing around,
swinging it in a circle, not above his head, like he's gonna like attack.
No,
because
like in
the
front
man
of him.
Clearly looks at Saint Germain, but like in a circle, like he's about to do something like propel it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, after all that, door closes, and of course Germain's like, "I know you're here. Where are you?" Cut to an opening that goes to this weird clockwork library.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
MC
thing.
Escher stairs.
Yeah,
looking.
kind of thing. And we see just a black silhouette of someone, a lady perhaps, with like long hair like blowing in the wind. And he's like, "Take my hand." She goes to reach out, but then she just instead chucks the stone that he's been using all this time. And then he wakes up.
Yeah, and then he writes in his weird upside-down triangular journal.
He does... I think... I'm not sure if this is exactly what he's doing, but he does something that a lot of people, myself included, should be doing a lot of. Mm-hmm. He's writing down his frickin' dreams.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have a note thing of just, like, weird-ass fucking weirdly specific dreams that I have, and I'm like, what the fuck was that about? And I write those,
right, yeah.
That's a good pitch for a thing, you know? It's just like,
I was going to say, but it's also, like, something that's apparently therapeutic, too.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, so, of course, you know, him doing all of this bizarre corridor stuff, yeah, I mean, write it down, what you're doing. And then he's, like, you know, reminiscing, like, hey, you know, there was a time when I used to live a good dream, but now I just, you know, never wanted to sleep. But now I just, you know, it's all these nightmares and stuff. I still don't want to sleep. Yeah. Not yet, not until you're back. I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
He's on a mission. The last scene we see is Isaac traveling with his giant band of night creatures along some kind of mountainside. And he comes across a random old lady sitting by herself in front of a thing.
No, you jumped. Yeah. This is the scene at the campfire.
With fly eyes. Right?
Yep, with fly's eyes.
Fly's eyes? Okay, fly.
Yeah, fly's eyes.
Yeah. Okay, that's whenever I see fucking Isaac doing anything, his whole like arc is messed up because I really like what he does in this whole season. But
he's just like, hey, which one? Where's the one that could actually talk very well?
Yeah, are any of you guys smart? And
this is like weird night creature that like kind of looks all fly-like and everything.
Yeah, it looks like a big giant bug flying guy.
And of course, he's like, "Hey, do you remember anything about
when you were
human? Before all of this, a little bit. I was pretty much a philosopher in Athens.
Yeah.
And then it was during a time when everything like the laws and the religion shifted.
Yeah.
Where now, being a philosopher, you talk about the ways of the world and theology, different things like that.
Yeah.
But it was against the laws. And it's like, what laws? Who made these laws? It was the Christians.
Yeah, and then he says that he was brought before a judge in a church and asked him to either expose what he did or other people do, and then he exposed what other people did, and he lied for himself.
Yeah, he lied to save himself, like a lot of people did.
Yeah, and
then they just killed him anyway.
Yeah, they killed him anyway, but because the society made him a liar, that when he died, he went to hell. And that's why, specifically. And he says in hell he learned to enjoy sinning. And now that he's back, he said also he realized that this world is insane.
Yeah, he literally died and went to hell all because the world is insane.
Yeah, and he says, but I've learned to love sin, and now I'm back here, and for some reason I'm back, and I can do sin again, and it's just really weird, and it's great, and I'm gonna enjoy myself. And it's like,
he's
very
like,
bizarre.
Thanks him. He's like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for bringing me here.
And that's
where the episode ends. Yeah. Topic-wise, I know your job to come up with it because you're the host for this season, but I was saying, that is, the first actual hint of, the religious aspect to what the fuck night creatures are and, vampirism in the first... I know it goes, further on in the season, and even next season they're going to go into more, the weird, pseudo-religious aspects of the Castlevania series and how, anachronistic it is to, normal religious stuff regarding vampires, but also this show itself is its own logic of how things work. And
and I mean just everything is just so interesting, especially you learn that it's not necessarily the real world because it's kind of its own alternate version, but it's still the same. There was Greece, there was Athens. Christians still would do their whole conquering thing and changing everyone, converting everyone to Christianity thing. And it's just, and also there was really no topic thing because at this point there wasn't anything of topic to bring up that we haven't already discussed Castlevania lore-wise. Yeah, it's just, and the fact that you find out that the night creatures are literally just damned souls that have returned.
Yeah, also I was going to say, actually, specifically, I believe that they are some version of demons.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it's like
it's never explicitly said, but I understand. But like, also, yeah, I was going to say,
are you familiar with a creator, very good creator, mind you, Vivzipop?
I know that. Yeah, I know that stuff. Yeah.
Hasbin Hotel.
Yeah. I was gonna say
apparently in like that version of hell, when you die, you turn into a demon and you go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where we're taught. Well, I don't know about you, but like in Christians, we're talking about you're still a human soul, but you just get to go down where the demons.
I was gonna say, for me, the point of like reference would be Supernatural. Which, like, over its fucking, like, 13-season-ass series, they do, talk about, like, concepts like hell and devil and the god and the angels and all that kind of stuff. They go very detailed about it. But, like, specifically, when you die, if you were really bad or if you were cursed or whatever reason, if you did end up in hell, you are tortured until you do become a demon. And they're pretty much, like, formless, black, like, spirits that possess people on Earth. And they, like, depending on their powers or whatever they're, like, associated with. But, yeah, but, like, it's just specifically, like, you go to hell and you become a demon after torturing, and, like, they torture you to the point where you are willing to torture other people, and then that makes you worse and worse and worse, and you get more powerful from that, and then you come back and you just possess
Which is funny, because that's all demons are things that possess people to make people do bad things.
Yeah.
No, they're a lot more than that.
No, there's
more detailed than that.
Supernatural's incredible lore is just insane about how, like, the last villain of the last couple seasons is, like, God himself, and it's really fucking cool. The show's great, it's very, but also, of course, fucking Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki are fucking amazing actors, and everyone's loving Jensen and the boys, and he's just, everyone in that show is great, and the show itself is really fantastic. But just, like, the whole concept of, like, the night creatures, I guess, are technically demons, and, like, the Devil Forge Masters, like, I guess they're, like, just, like, conjuring summoners of demons. This kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's all they are is, I mean, they need a vessel, but once they have a vessel, I mean, it's just like, boom, that demon.
Yeah, the fact that, but also, like, how the people summon them and how the Devil Forge Masters put them in the dead body. It's all very, like, it's a very interesting lore that they set up in this world for the start. It's very, very cool.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of, more interesting things, we should go on to the next episode 7, Worse Things Than Betrayal.
Oof.
Yep. Now we start off in a different location than we've seen so far. We go back to Dracula's castle.
Yep. Sumi and Taka are walking around with Alucard, and they're going to the Belmont
they're going to the Belmont Hold. And of course, Taka and Sumi are talking about, like, wait, we're not going to the armory? And, still asking him questions about the castle.
Yeah, how does the teleporting thing work? Or, like, does that still work? And he's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work, and it'd take too long for me to fix, and I could, but I'm not gonna.
Right, yeah. And he's like, besides, there's a lot more you need to learn, because you want to fight monsters, right? Well, here, let me show you this. They go down... They go down, like, this nice little, like, elevator kind of contraption that he set up. Pulleys, levers, and stuff like that. They actually go in.
Yeah, and he's like, I want you guys to learn this stuff so you guys can teach it to the next group of people to learn.
Yes, exactly.
Pass this down.
And the first thing that they when they get to the Belmont Hold, and of course, I don't know if they've already had electricity down there or if Alucard, like, made some, like, electrical circuit going there. Yeah. But, he turns on the lights, and the first thing that Sumi and Taka are like is like, wow, lightning in jar. Dude, this is awesome. This is magic. And, Alucard's like, no. Yeah. It's just, it's actually science.
Yeah, the true science. I think Dracula called it, like, in the first season. Like,
the true science or something like that. And, of course, he's like, this is the Belmont Hold. Anything you need to learn about fighting monsters and vampires is right here. And, of course, Taka's like, ooh, so can we, fill in the blank, killing a lot of things. Kill. And Alucard's like, whoa. First off, one thing at a time. Secondly, it's not just the killing I want you to learn. I want you to learn other things, like you said, so that you can pass it on to the next generation. Because, I don't know about you, but I think that Trevor would actually like a new generation of monster killers.
Yeah, not just all on him. This is when we come back to Lindenfield. We see Saint Germain walking around the city, and the judge is like, "Hey, what's with Trevor and Sypha? What are you guys up to? What's going on?" And he's kind of just like, "What are we talking about? Something's going on. I'm just looking for some toilet paper." Does he have something with him?
Before that conversation, isn't this when the kid was running?
Did we see the kid this early?
I think it might be.
It's not next episode.
Let me double check my notes. Okay. It's this episode, because before he talks to Saint Germain, the kid's running, and he's just like, the judge is just like, "I told you never to run before."
Yeah, hey kid.
Hey kid, I hate the fact that you're running, even though I told you 1,000 times. Looks and sees the apples, and he's like, "But you're here because you want the fresh apples."
Yeah.
So, go back to go behind my house.
Yeah.
Go down the path, give some directions.
Yeah.
You'll see an apple tree. Take 3 apples. Yeah, now, and don't run, but the kid runs anyway.
Yeah, he runs anyway. He's like, "Oh,
and then St. Germain's just like, a lot of work to do, whatever.
I'm getting me some toilet paper. He's like, "What the hell are you talking about? Toilet paper?
What the hell is toilet paper?"
It's something the Chinese invented. Don't worry
Chinese,
about it.
Don't worry about it. But one of the other things was, he's like, "Yeah, I heard you were drinking with Sypha and Belmont, weren't you?" Mm-hmm. He's like, "Yes, I'm very famous, whatever." But literally just meh, go out of the way.
Yeah.
And then goes to the parish, the church.
I believe it's just a church, yeah.
Yeah, the church.
But he starts looking through the books again, and he finds a weird, burned hand skin book.
Like a human flesh kind of.
Yeah,
tome.
I believe he does. He know by the way, he knows this by a Devil Forge Master.
Oh well, he doesn't say
that
yet.
But,
but when he's looking through it, it kind of looks like a Necronomicon of sorts.
Yeah,
because there's demonology, symbols, and all that stuff.
Night creature stuff.
And then, of course,
he sees several pages torn out of it, and he notices that.
Yeah. And then Sala, the main monk, is walking by, and he's like, "Hey, Sala, by the way, you know this book right here?"
Yeah.
And Sala's like, "What about it?
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything about Dracula." No. You don't understand. This is a book made by a
Devil Forge Master, an insane one and this is about bringing people back from hell.
Yeah,
but there are several pages missing. It says, "Okay, well,
wear and tear." Well, I mean, this is not supposed to be surprising to me. Perhaps they used them as paper for their backsides. I heard they do that in the Orient. It's like, no, Solid. You're missing the point. This is big stuff.
And also, the pages aren't yellow. The ends of the ripped part aren't yellow, so this is a very recent tear.
Oh, well, if it's not about Dracula, you got to go back to work. And then one of the more important, tension scenes, where he's like, "Sala, you told me to not treat you like a madman. Don't disappoint me," kind of thing. It's just where you can tell that, Saint Germain is picking up a few pieces. I don't like.
Yeah, I know you guys are up to something, and you guys know that I know the shape. But so did we cut to? 2 more. This one, we just do 2 more of the monks carving another fucking symbol under the wood.
And this time, Sypha and Trevor actually see them in the act. And it's like, "Oh, look at that! We found our vandals. Well, there's no use in negotiating with them. What do you think?" Trevor's like, "I've been feeling useless ever since this has become about magic and symbols.
Yeah.
Just a simple man with simple pleasures."
Yeah.
And goes over and beats the shit out of both of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he kills one of them.
No, one of them they both got knocked out. It's just he tried to shove one in a barrel and literally break his leg.
Shove him in a barrel. I'm like, okay, I got
everything was fine. Then I heard the bone crack, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's so ridiculous.
And then he picks up the other monk.
It's the one with the ponytail who harassed him in the first couple episodes. Yeah.
Who apparently during the fight is known to be a professional killer because that grip on that knife always gives it away.
Yeah, of course.
And then they walk. He starts walking over, and we cut to inside the judge's house where he closes a door and locks it, puts a cover over the door, and he's kind of looking a little
all sweaty,
nervous,
touching his hands.
Oh my god, what the hell kind of thing. But then after he composes himself, you just see Belnades and Belmont just walk in and just "Hey, look."
They kick the door open?
I think they do, but they're "Hey, look, we have one of the monks."
Yeah, we got one of them.
So, hey, we got one of them. Hey, tell us what you know. Oh, fuck you. And then, of course, the judge kicks him and is "Keep a civil fucking tongue when you're around me."
Yeah, exactly. They just beat the shit out of him and ask him, "What the fuck are you guys up to?" And then the Saint Germain looks around the bottom of the church at this point.
He starts to go. Yeah, after a few monks leave, he starts going downstairs, and he starts seeing. Not only is his
the stone activated, but also weird mushrooms.
That, and there's also like a weird flashing in the basement. Cut to Isaac and his crew.
Yep, still on the march, and this is when they go to that mountain town and they see that old lady.
Yep, and they see the old lady. It's like, hello, Forge Master. You can see me. I can smell you.
Yeah,
and it's just some crazy old lady talking about how, she used to have neighbors, but a magician took them, literally, like, mind controlled them.
A whole town.
An entire
town. Yes. A magic user who controlled a whole town, turned all of the people into, we said ants, made them eat shit.
Made them eat shit and all that stuff. And then, of course, Isaac is like, "Oh, really?" And you just sat there, other practitioner, and she's like, "Wait, you can smell me?" He's like, "No, I can see you."
Yeah, and then she starts glowing big purple evil energy. Yeah, just like sits back down, like, I'm tired.
Yeah, right. I'm old. And he's like, "Well, which way?" He's like, "Oh, so it's in that direction?" Yeah, he's in that direction. I'm going that way anyway because I have to go to Styria. And she's just like, "Why the fuck would you want to go there?" Because I have some business to attend to. And
this is when she said the titular episode. There are worse things in Styria than vampires. The Forge Master.
But if you go and you fight the magician, he's got first off, to get this to go and fight Styria, you need a lot more than what you have over here. But you need to also travel there too. The magician has a big transmission mirror.
Yeah, bigger and wider than normal.
Yep, where you could literally fit a whole lot of things through it. So, you should go to the magician. You should kill all of the slaves because they'll thank you for it.
Yeah.
And, because they don't want to be mind controlled. But yeah, go over there. You'll have an army. You'll have a means to there. But just remember, there's a lot of things that are far worse than revenge. And then, of course, he starts leaving.
Yeah, leaves around, and then this is when we finally cut back to Saint Germain going down into the basement.
Yeah, this is where he actually look. I don't think. Yeah, he's in the basement and he looks, and right across from him, other than a giant alchemical symbol on the ground, is a night creature hung up on a cross.
The big night creature that fell into the thing months ago.
The visitor, as they call him.
Yeah,
the
visitor.
Oh yeah, from so many. For so much, he just it didn't die. They were just keeping him down there, and it's weird that he's up on a cross.
Yeah,
and that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, that's where it ends.
And just what did you think about Miranda, aka the old lady?
Yeah, I thought that I was like, okay, this definitely she feels so minor, but she definitely could have been a character from the games, I assumed.
Unfortunately, she's not.
I looked it up. I think she's like a reference to the Gypsy Ladies or something like that. Like their specific with clever outfit and the hair together. Like I think it was like a visual reference to those characters, something like that. But she felt like she was would be a character from the games. But also, another there's so many Devil Forge Masters that are just around. It's so weird.
Well, but here's the thing. You're right. Apparently, there's a few more than just Isaac and Hector. But this is the first one we see that is not them.
Yeah.
Because, yes, there was a reference to Saint Germain talking about the book made by a Forge Master, but this is the first time you've seen one who actually is alive.
Yeah.
So, are they few and far in between? Are they just, in hiding? Who knows? Because, it's literally a semi-form of necromancy summoning, because you use
I think it's just demonology, like Warlock or something like that, technically.
No, actually, that's a lot better, because, sure, they're using dead bodies to bring things, but they are summoning demons through those bodies.
Yeah, they're not making undead, technically. They're they're summoning demons to Earth via dead bodies. It's weird. But it's a very cool-ass fucking concept, and I love seeing I love hearing about what happened with that town, because, we've mentioned it a couple of times. I think even one episode of Movie Garbage, Ed went into the whole dynamic of our old D&D campaign. But I think about a magic user just possessing a whole town and making them as slaves is very something specifically my character did in an old campaign we had. And Gee
Willikers, I wonder who that is, Frog.
Yeah, well, hey, if you want to know more, read my book, The Recon Minotaur King, because you can find out more about it there.
Shameless plugs.
But yeah, it was very cool to hear about what happened, and the fact that that weird wizard or whoever who did that left the old Lily alive, and traveling through. Oh, we forgot to mention that while they were traveling, Isaac did like sit down with the old lady and just like chatted with her about everything.
Yeah, I mean that was that whole thing we talked about their conversation.
It was very relaxed and very civil.
That pretty much was was him chatting with her because
cool.
he doesn't like want to immediately murder her, like Isaac usually does with people.
Yeah, well, remember his whole we made fun of the dynamic of like the beginning of the season was him meeting some shitty humans and then like feeling like fuck all humans and then being like
meeting someone that's
meeting
actually
someone nice
cool.
and then immediately meeting another shitty person like fuck and then meeting someone nice now.
Well. Yeah,
it's a fun dynamic, but also,
But this time it was like we finally got to see, him being civil still, and not just going back to that whole, But then again, no one was shitty to him.
Yeah.
It was just because it wasn't in a situation where people could be shitty because it was one lonely woman. But yeah, so,
very cool.
What happened? What do you at this point? What do you think happened? The judge was acting very strange.
I completely knew. I was like, oh, the judge is a nice guy. But then when he was like, I was like, is he in on Saint Germain's plan? Not Saint Germain. Is he in on Salah's plan or something like that? Like, why is he acting so weird and freaked out for no reason? That's weird.
Yeah.
But it's just like it was a very bizarre scene. But I guess I wasn't really thinking about that because also I was just like, the judge is a little bit weird, but he's a fine dude. Whatever, it doesn't make a difference.
So far, he just looked like he was upset about something.
Yeah.
But other than
also,
that,
I don't know if we ever mentioned in the other episodes, but the judge is voiced by Jason Isaacs.
From name sounds familiar.
Admiral Zhao in Avatar,
yeah.
But then also Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter, of course.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why his voice sounded familiar.
Captain
like,
Hook
as
and
the judge.
Hook and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, just the judge. Wait. The guy who played Lucius Malfoy was
he
actually Hook.
He played Hook in something. I don't know if it was Hook or in one of those movies.
No. I know which one it was because I saw a scene from it. Actually, it was a different Peter Pan movie where it was a live action one that was after Hook.
Yeah.
But it was just called Peter Pan.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I saw that scene because I saw Hook. I'm like, at first because it was a YouTube video. It had a thumbnail where it was Hook. At first I'm like, that's not Gary Oldman, is it? Clicked on it and I'm like, no, that's fucking Malfoy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Admiral Zhao himself, and now the judge.
But yes, I like when he does a refined, kind of role. Like Lucius Malfoy, even though he kind of went a little crazy in the,
He's about to kill Harry.
Right.
He said that crazily in the movie. I remember that scene for some reason.
Don't get me wrong. He's good in any of his
he's
roles.
A great actor.
I just think he does a better job with a more refined role. Like the judge.
Well, Zhao was kind of a thankless role.
Well, either way, he still did a good job with Zhao, but he wasn't really very prestigious or
memorable.
Well, no,
Zhao is, but I'm saying the voice wasn't particular.
Well, it wasn't as memorable. But when he's more of like a calm, kind of actually being like an upper class kind of guy. I know that sounds so weird, but being like a very upper class kind of thing, he does a really good job because he can do the charismatic character very well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah. So what was your first thoughts when you saw the visitor was actually alive the entire time?
That's like something I completely was like, yeah, of course he is, because that was obvious. I think that they were worshiping that thing. Obviously, that they still had it alive. Because I think even way back before we saw the Infinite Corridor, we saw him glowing down in the basement, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely the fucking the visitor that fell.
Yeah, well, of course it was. I mean, one of the less kept secrets where it's just like, oh yeah, surprise plot twist, he's still alive. I'm just like.
Yeah, of
surprise?
Course. Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
But speaking of surprises and twists, let's continue on to episode 8.
What the night brings. I'm gonna let you take the lead on this because I've got to blow my nose. So I'm gonna go in the other room and blow my nose very loudly. What happened at the beginning of this eepisode? Okay,
that's interesting. Well, we are going to start off in Carmilla's castle in the daytime because Striga is drawing up plans. And as she's drawing up plans, Mirana's over and she's like, oh, what are you doing? Go to bed. It's late. Because, vampires and their whole day-night cycle. And, of course, Striga's like, well, no. Because I have to figure this out. We have this to think of, all these things about war to think of. And Mirana's like, no. We don't need to think about this because, all the people, like humans hire other humans to do all the fighting. We don't need to worry about this. It was an administrative plan, and I took care of it. Now come back to bed, love. I'm like, dude, these two are so fucking cute together.
They are very, very cute. I couldn't find my flowness. I'm going to probably blow my nose again later. But they are adorable and great, and I feel like love. But also, just saying, like freaking her insane plans.
and I don't care what you say. Striga is the best of the four.
Really? What do I say? Shut up. Of course Striga's the best.
No. You think Carmilla's the best. I say Striga's the best.
Yeah, probably. We'll see. Because, Striga fucking does some cool ass shit later, so.
But anyway, Striga's my favorite. But then as all of this is happening, Carmilla's like, what the fuck are you two doing? I could hear you through the walls and 3 snoring guys. And of course, they're we don't need to know.
Yeah.
And of course, Carmilla's like, well, we're all awake now, so let's have a drink. Why are you even up?
Yeah,
and Striga's like, we're trying to make your scheme work, duh.
It's just like, oh, that's a great scheme, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great scheme. Wait.
Or scheme.
Wait, you call it a scheme? Fucking rude. Yes, but none of this is going to work unless Lenore can do her job. And of course, Carmilla's like, fuck it, now I really need a drink because I have a feeling that Lenore's going to adopt him.
Yeah, of course.
Cut to Hector reading.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this book about vampire philosophy is so interesting, man. This is really cool. And she's just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And as Lenore's like, you like this book, huh? Puts her left hand out, and Hector notices there's a weird black and red ring that she's wearing.
Yeah, a weird little twisted up thing.
What's that ring? Oh, you like it? It's what binds my sisters and I.
All the council sisters wear one. You should check them out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the night is black, the blood is red, and that's what binds us together. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's actually kind of neat. I mean, because civilization. You guys have an actual civilization. Oh, so we're not monsters. I didn't say that. I mean, you're still vampires. You're still weird, but there's a lot more going to it. And I'm like, okay, so we have Hector understanding more about vampire culture and everything like that. And
there's also this one, she says, like, well, you guys still need me for my army. And she's like, well, no, we're going to probably just end up hiring in the army mercenaries, like we said last week. Is that yet or is that later?
Not yet.
I guess when that's when she's been talking to me.
Oh, no. It's right, because this is when she sits on the bed and she's like, well, here's a dilemma. Here's a dilemma we have because, this is diplomacy. We both talk. We both get something out of it. We don't get everything that we want, but we both leave happy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm not here trapped in a cage like you are. You literally have nothing, and I have everything. And of course, he's like, okay, where are you getting at? I mean, you need me for the night creatures, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, she's like, oh, no, we can just hire mercenaries and everything like that. I heard Striga and them talking about it. He's like, okay, but Lenore, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And she's like, sit beside me, please. And then she's like, so you've had an advantage this entire time. What do you want? Mm-hmm. And Hector's like, I want freed. And she's like, and there's an issue right there because I can't just be like, fly, little pretty human man. Yeah, so I'm pretty now. Yes. And that one advantage I told you about, well, I kind of sort of like you.
Yeah, I like you, and that's why. And it's just like, oh, they're getting along too. That's great.
And then they start kissing.
Yeah, very cute scene of those two finally getting together.
And we go back to
a very quick scene with Sumi and Taka.
Yep, and of course they're talking about how Alucard's been living alone.
Yeah, but also he's hiding something from us. So like, yeah, we should do something nice for him though.
Yeah, we should do something nice. He's been alone. He doesn't want us to leave at least immediately. It is a bother that he's hiding something from us, but we should do something nice.
Yeah, that's the end of Dracula scene for this. Is that the end of the scene for this?
Yeah, that's literally all it is.
Yeah.
But then we go back to Lindenfield, back to Saint Germain, being like, holy crap, there's a night creature here, big twist.
Monster.
And then he starts running up, because the monster starts roaring. And of course, Saint Germain starts running. And as he's fleeing,
he bumps back into Sala.
Sala's like, oh, you've been wandering around? No, just, stretching my legs because, I was reading those deliciously informative books. And Sala's like, oh, good, okay. Starts to walk away. It's like, Sala, no, you now, seriously. You need to get you and your monks out of here now. This place has been deconsecrated.
Yep, it's no longer holy.
They literally are trying to do rituals of opening hell and bringing back something or someone to life.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and
the very obvious slip of the tongue. What you mean? We're not the first. I mean, this has happened before. I'm like, Sala, really? We already know you're trying to fucking do something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Come on, you're gonna be more evil and weird.
Yeah, but we have to stay. Our work is almost done. No, you have to flee. Flee? Excellent idea. Flee. He just runs like a fucking madman. And then, of course, back to Trevor and the judge and all them.
Yeah, and they're just saying, "What's your plan? What are you guys doing?" He's like, "I'm not going to tell you anything."
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything. All you need to know is that there's a lot less of us now because we've been going out and spreading the good word. Oh, like cultists? No, like evangelists, because everything's going to happen. We're going to bring hell on earth and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so the judge is like, okay, so what's going on? Something big, can't tell you right now because we still don't have enough information. And insert Germain.
Yeah,
knock, bust open the door. They have a night creature down there. The visitor never left. They are going to try to open a portal to hell.
Yeah, and then
he starts.
like, of course.
And then he starts babbling, about like alchemy,
yeah,
and like all the symbols, what they mean, and he starts going off on a tangent. Kind of a foreshadowing tangent because he talks about alchemy, and the purpose of alchemy is to reach the final goal, which is to create something called the rebus, which is like two souls trapped in the one body.
Does he go into actually full detail about that?
Not full detail, but he just actually mentions two souls into one kind of thing. Yeah. And as he's trying to go on this tangent, it's like Germain, focus up. And the judge is like, translate this idiot's gibberish, please. Okay, so Sala and his men are like trying to open a portal to hell to bring someone back.
Yeah,
we don't know who, and then we don't know who. We need to stop them now. Okay, good. We're gonna go at sundown. I'll get my men at arms. You guys get. I'll try to make a pass.
Also, use this opportunity to get him into the infinite corridor as well.
Well, hold on, we're getting there because the judge is like, we're gonna wait until night. I'm gonna get my men at arms. We're going to storm it at night when everyone's in their houses.
Yeah.
Site was like, we don't have that long, do we? And the judge is like, my city, my rules. I'll get everything ready. And then Saint Germain's just like, so you said 3 of us are going to go in there. Yeah. So what do I have to do with this? Well, you're going to have a short amount of time to open up the infinite corridor and go into it. I don't see what... Oh my god, you're helping me.
Yeah.
Wait, you're being nice. And of course Trevor's like, okay, don't make a production out of this.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
And I love it. I love that too because he's like, dude, I'm being nice. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And Cypher's like, he broke a man's leg in 3 places because he kicked a cat. What? The cat wasn't doing anything. I'm like, you know what? He does have a good heart. Oh, yeah. But of course, so yeah, that's the plan. At least is to go through, get into the basement, and get
take out the monks
Germain.
Or whatever they're doing and kill the night creature for good. And we cut to Dracula's castle now.
No, because we go to Isaac, the Forge Master, because he this is when
I thought he's
no. We go down to the night creature because they're like, we've done everything. Sala's like, we want everything you've asked for. We are about to open the portal.
We even like put you up on a cross like you wanted us to. And, it's just
and you've told us all of the things. We've given you time to meditate for the next idea. You who is a night creature of Isaac.
Yeah.
And
we're doing everything to bring back your creator's master, Dracula.
Yep. Like, so we'll get to that at the end. Mm-hmm. But after all of that, Sypha and them are starting to head up to the monastery, where Sypha decides, okay, so you said like nobody can control this corridor, right? He's like, Saint Germain's like, in order to even open it, you need like a lot of sacrificing. Like you need to have a lot of souls or somewhat of your soul or something like that. And you've done this before? Yeah, and I'm still recovering from the last like few years when I did this.
Yeah, that's why I went to the corridor.
So Cypher was like, you don't know if this is gonna work, do you? I can't say for sure. And she's like, okay, I think we might have made a mistake.
Yeah.
And of course, the judge is like, Sala, get your ass out here.
I think we do cut to the Dracula's place before that. Because the fight, because it goes like back to there between the thing with because the scene in Dracula's castle is really quick, but then it ends with them saying like, okay, we're gonna storm the church, and then that's the episode.
I think you're right because in Dracula's castle,
Taka and
Sumi and Taka are like, hey,
yeah, he's cooking for them, and they're just like, hey, we're doing something nice for you because you've been so stressed out and weird and depressed lately. They continue to ask about the engine again.
Yeah, the engine, and because that part right there, jumping the gun a bit.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
Because they're just talking, about first they're talking about magic items.
Yeah.
Because Alucard's like, Dracula had so much magic that he didn't need magical item, magically enchanted items.
Yeah.
Me, I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have no actual thing. And then of course keeps questioning about the engine and stuff, and then they're like, oh, you're hiding something from me. And, Alucard, assures them, no, I'm not. There's a lot, you're going to have to learn a lot of things. Yes, I know I haven't taught you magic or anything like that, but there's a lot more you have to learn.
And then, they continue to say, okay, come on, we're going to tell you.
Okay, come on, let's go and eat. Then it goes back to the town where the episode ends with them being like, we're going to storm the castle and everything. Well, sorry, we're going to storm the monastery and everything. Sorry, Castlevania. My brain went immediately to castle.
Well, of course.
And that's where the episode ends.
Yeah.
And, yeah. See, there was a big twist right there.
What?
Finding out that the night creature was Isaac's specifically.
Yeah, that actually was like, oh, I was curious where
that one was,
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Also, that they acknowledge that, the night creature wanted them to hook him up to the cross like that and crucify it. It's so weird.
He's like, we did everything you want. I'm like, so he wanted. Oh, okay.
Yeah, very interesting. But also, everything in Lindenfield's been so weird. St. Germain, confronting Sala, kind of, but then also, it's so, all over the place what the fuck's going on in Lindenfield.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, right now, there's really nothing to ask, because once again, everything was pretty self-explanatory, and we've talked about a lot of things so far about that. But yeah, there's. What were your thoughts that from right now? Not only finding out about how it was Isaac's night creature who wants to bring Dracula back through some alchemical means.
Yeah, I think they said that before that they wanted to. They said at the very beginning they said that Dracula's in hell with his wife, and that they're trying to. They're trying to go to Dracula before. Well,
no, they worship Dracula from hell. And, of course, with that, we also had, they're doing weird alchemy. Now we actually get to know what exactly they're doing.
Yeah, they're going to try opening the Infinite Corridor for this monster somehow.
Yep, for this monster. Through this monster.
Yeah.
Well, we should actually let's skip the chit-chat then and go straight to episode 9. The Harvest. Well, it's night in Lindenfeld. Everyone's up at the monastery except for the families, who are enjoying a nice meal.
The judge told everybody to go home, so everyone's in their houses. Yeah,
and everyone's safe and sound in their houses, and that's when those weird alchemy symbols that they were carving, that the monks
sun's
were carving,
going down, and as soon as the sun goes behind the mountain,
right as sun sets.
Yeah.
All of those alchemical symbols start to glow, and just conflagration.
Yeah, giant pillars of fire, all the houses that had the symbols on them. Just completely light up
people
on fire.
Literally getting, a literal holocaust of this village.
Huge amount of people.
Not only do they just catch on fire, but these giant, tubes of flames, start congregating towards the actual church with, faces in them. The souls of the people who are dying.
And so then you see, earlier we saw, a weird path of blood from, the doorway to the church all the way through down to where the night creature was.
Yep. And that flame decides to follow said thing.
Yeah, we see the monks, with giant things of blood, just, making the symbol even larger, and also painting a pentagram on the...
No, not painting. He actually has a spear and is carving it. It was actual carving into this creature's skin.
But yeah, and it was also just blood, tons of blood. But yeah, the giant pillar of souls and fire goes directly into the giant creature.
Right, and then you actually see all of the souls and stuff start protruding their faces out through, and
the judge's oh my god, I've told everyone to go to their homes.
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness, this is all. Oh no, we need to go. Take it now. We need to get in now. Monks start coming out we have weapons.
Yeah, all these guys, and then all the men-at-arms with the judge are up there, and then you completely just start doing a crazy-ass fight.
Yeah, but then as this whole crazy-ass fight happens, we go back to Sala, watching, because he's the only one down there now. Mm-hmm. We just see him watching as the flame is like hitting the weird pentagram symbol on the night creature, who then looks directly to like the side or something and opens the infinite corridor.
Yeah.
And out from it is kind of one of the coolest designed creatures in all of this.
Yeah,
a literal like fucking seraph kind of creature.
Yeah, it looks like he also not like a Sin Eater from Endwalker.
Yeah, well, then again, I mean, I think that was actually inspired by the biblically accurate angels.
Yeah, that 100%. With like the wings and the eyes and
the wings and all the eyes everywhere.
Yeah, this is such a cool ass design.
And of course, Stalin's just like, ooh.
What the fuck is that?
and not only that, but a lot of teeny tiny little ones. Like they're not flies, but they're like really tiny night creatures. Just start swarming out as well.
Yeah, tiny little weird little demons.
And as all of this is happening, there's still more fighting, and then it's just like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Cut to the portal. We actually get to take a look inside the portal a little bit.
Yeah, we see a long, giant trekking shot of like all these of what we assume is hell.
Yeah, like
this vast, giant, stony thing.
And then of course, you see like Dracula holding Lisa in a very burnt down house in hell.
Yeah.
And after that, we cut to Carmilla's castle.
I would say I think this whole section is intertwined between what Isaac's doing, what
Hector's doing, what Alucard's doing, and what's happening in Lindenfell.
Yeah, but I think that like the Carmilla's castle and Dracula's castle bits are like closer towards the end of the arc, because I think it does like cut to Isaac for the majority of the episode at this point.
This episode has some weird cuts.
I think
and they're all intertwined. And for our lovely listeners, not viewers, I have a second title for this. You understand very damn well why the second title of this episode is. It's also known as "And Then They All Fucked."
Yeah, and then they all
because we cut to Carmilla's castle, where Hector and Lenore are about to fuck. We cut to Isaac, who gets to the town that Miranda told him about.
Yeah.
And we actually see like Crown of Madness from D&D. Like we see like actual crowns and stuff, and they're being mind controlled.
Glowing green
eye
crowns
kind of
around
thing.
people controlling the town, which is fucking. There's this specific segment. There's a book series, Magical Chaos. It's an isekai book series, but like. There's a whole section where they go into a town where there are a bunch of, like, all the guards and, like, the weird people around are actually all dead people who are spies being controlled and observed through by the master in the actual tower or whatever. And I just love the whole concept of this is really fucking cool. Like, how, for my evil character who, like, took over the town, how I love, like, just the dynamic of, like, all these dead people are just going around building up stuff around the town, but they're all simultaneously mind-controlled with these weird thorn crowns. It's such a cool concept.
Yeah, it really is. And, of course, Isaac and his night creatures start to attack.
Yeah, they ride through the town. He's on his giant unicorn horse thing.
And then, as that's happening... Yeah. Alucard can't fucking sleep. Yeah. And so Taka and Sumi are like, hey, let's give you a reward.
Yeah.
And then those three start to fuck.
I told you, dude. When they were like rolling around in the hay forever, I was like, dude, he's about to fuck these two, or what the fuck's going on?
Well, guess what?
Yeah, I completely called that.
You did. And then, so literally, there is a lot of cuts between all of this shit, juggling all of this shit.
Of course.
What you need to know is... Lindenfeld. They actually do start fighting the night creatures, and also Trevor, Sypha, and Saint Germain actually do make it to the basement finally.
I would say auto cut through like the actual fight with the two Seraph Sin Eater looking ones is really fucking awesome.
Oh my god, it really is because dude, right? It's so just well animated. It's like you can definitely tell. Don't get me wrong. Seasons 1 and 2, they did a good job with animated fight scenes. Mm-hmm. Season 2, that whole fight with Dracula, really well done.
Oh,
this is definitely you can definitely see an improvement in like the style and the animation and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness. Like fucking weird giant seraph things.
Yeah, they were like how tough they were is really cool too, because they were like you could feel how strong they were. Like,
because even with like the not fully charged like Morning Star whip, even though it can still like go bonk, and it's like no my leg is it's like literally like they could block it. They actually could take a few hits and everything. Even Sypha. Oh my gosh, he had to like pull out all the stops.
Yeah, they're trying to kick out just the two of these ones.
But yeah.
And then the Isaac sequence where he's fucking just riding through town, cutting up these people, and like the people are kind of just like weird, like the zombifiedly, like and getting,
the way I could describe it best on how they act. Like, not only are they like marionettes, like by the way they're like jangling around, but hive mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all hive mind.
And then you actually get to see the little diamond eye whenever he's like actually looking through whatever they're. That's like a cool
and they like just
move
magic. Around and stuff.
Yeah, the little eyeball, like that was really that one.
I used to have the name, but when Isaac summons the really, really tall, big lightning shooting one, I need to look it up again because I lost the page, but that actually has a name. It's actually a callback to one of the Castlevania games, as well as Isaac's climbing the tower,
the guy like makes all the weird mind control zombies into a gigantic, like a weird fucking ball.
yes. We'll get to that after the end of this episode. But they also act like they're water filling up. Yeah. Isaac gets to the top, and you just see this really old, very well dressed man.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even talk. He has no speech.
He just smiles and then uses his
his crown. His fucking crown of thorns. Control, He's like, yes. And of course, Isaac's like, kind of like,
he's falling for. He's kind of dazed.
But then the magician's like, ha 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 ha, I got you, kind of thing. But Isaac puts his blade up to it and is like trying to pull it to try to break it. And of course, old man magician man is just laughing at him because why not? Yeah. And then Isaac is just like, and then Isaac actually breaks it.
Yeah.
Fucking runs up and stabs the old man.
Yeah.
Killing him. And immediately breaking the mind control thing. Which, by the way, this orb of people is flying really high up in the air.
Yeah, and it was like shooting giant balls of people at the night creatures when they were fighting back.
So imagine your surprise when you get unmind controlled in a giant ball up way high above them. Yeah, they're all dead.
Yeah, well, I think unfortunately, I think they were all like already dead.
To an extent, some of them
None of them seemed conscious whenever.
Some of them did show decay. Because there were a few scenes where you see where like someone has like a chunk of their arm out. Yeah. Some of them were, but not all of them were.
Yeah, some of them showed expressions when he was like controlling them and stuff like that. So maybe
it's
the whole thing. But I assume he was just mind controlling them even after death. It was a really. We'll go off to the file at the end of the episode. But and then intercut with that is of course Lenore and Hector, and then Taka, Sumi, and Alucard. But then. At the end, when the main group, Trevor, Sypha, and finally get to the base.
Right,
this is when finally we see the end of those two scenes. The end of those two sex scenes.
We already talked about the Lindenfeld one. We already talked about Isaac.
Yeah.
In mid,
Lenore asks Hector, like, "Are you going to be mine?" And he's like, "Yeah,
you want to be mine. You want to. I want you to actually say,
you want to be
mine. That you are loyal to me and everything like that." And he does, and she slips a ring on him, and it causes him immense pain.
Yeah, you see all these crazy, almost thorn-like shards of magic kind of shooting through him, and he's kind of like, screaming in pain.
And then we get to the Taka Sumi fucking Alucard.
While they were all over Alucard, they both were slipping silver cuffs onto his arms, which suddenly spring
wrap all around him, and of course
in another Christ pose with his arms out, and then they start burning his skin.
Yep. And that's actually, and those are all four of the scenes, not necessarily in that order because there's a lot of cuts.
Oh yeah.
But that is pretty much where all four of those scenes and the episode ends.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, this is probably my favorite episode of the season. So.
Real talk time. I'm gonna look it up. Symphony of the Night. So that giant ball of people was not just a random ball of people.
Oh.
So in Symphony of the Night, and a lot from Symphony of the Night all the way to like much later iterations of Castlevania, there is a boss that you fight in a lot of Castlevania games that is very, very famous for literally being a ball. Usually it's a ball of corpses. A lot of dead zombie corpses. Known, you ready for this?
Yeah.
As Legion.
Oh, it's Legion.
It's Legion. This adaptation of Legion was amazing because it was literally people, dead or alive, combined as one, acting as one.
Yeah,
you know,
I was gonna say,
we are many, we are one.
I was gonna say, like the biblical legion with all the tricked him into the sheep and all that. Like, yeah, it's really cool. It's like a demon possessing multiple people at once. Yeah,
but yeah, through that, I'm just like, I like this iteration because it's not just a demon that is literally just a mass of people hiding a core. No, it's just literally this guy is like, oh, I'm going to, control all of these people and make them into this. I'm like, that was so cool.
Also, yeah, like how we keep saying my D&D character and everything like that. The major fun aspect of this episode is that it is a warlock, pretty much like a warlock versus a scion, who are both incredibly high level, like throwing both what they're completely capable of at each other. It's such a fucking cool ass magic fight between like somebody who's like a magic person who's mind controlling a whole city, and then a magic person who can summon a whole army of demons. And it is just such a fun, cool, high concept fantasy like idea that you never see in anything. I fucking loved it to death. And also they even tried to do the psychic thing on Hector. I was like, what? Or Isaac. I was like, how's he gonna get around that at the end when he could just like like anybody who got too close to my character Ludo, just like get psychic and then it's over.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But then also I'm gonna say like my fucking character when I think it was probably I want to say Man of Steel episode. We went through the entirety of that campaign, like from beginning to end, Chris's whole campaign. But like down to the thing when he tried at the end to try to control Hector, like how I tried to control Ed's character at the end but failed, and it was just like,
no, you didn't even try to control.
Oh no, I did. I tried.
No, you didn't. We went over Scorpion and Frog.
I give him the speech about Scorpion. No, yeah, I did kill him, but it wasn't. I couldn't control him. What I wanted to do was to control him and stop him or something like that, or stop him from moving, but I was incapable of it, and I just kept setting the guards in to finally take him down, and he finally went down. But it felt like, it was so fucking cool, and it was such a cool, in the episode, the actual psychic fight, the warlock necromancer summoner, demon summoner fight, was so fucking, it was a cool, high concept, a cool magic battle that you could never see and stuff, and it was really, really fucking awesome. And then we got 2 awesome sex scenes for pervs out there.
Sure,
for pervs.
Sure, okay. But then you also had that thing I was telling you about, the really tall looking demon that grabbed and did lightning.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because it's a nameless demon, like according to any of the snap. But I think in Symphony of the Night there was a secret optional boss who was supposedly the toughest boss ever. The toughest boss in that game called Galamoth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just to show you a picture of this tall boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's similarities. He not only does he have like the same like face and stuff like that, but he also the boss in Symphony of the Night was known for doing lots and lots of fucking lightning.
Okay, yeah, it was probably.
And I'm like that might be a reference to that. I'm not entirely sure.
That makes sense.
But yeah, either way, there was finally some things. Okay, so. We're gonna do surprised or not surprised. Kind of. We're gonna play this game, okay? The end result of the a la carte sex scene. Were you surprised or not surprised?
I was unfortunately surprised. I thought that they were. Like I said forever ago, I thought that they were going to be on the level because I remember at some point in the Castlevania series, like Alucard does go to Japan and like does interact with Japanese people and like stuff like that. And I was figuring like,
that's years from now.
That's literally in like the 80s, I think. Like in the actual like story of that game, it's like set in like the 80s or whatever the hell. So that would be like hundreds of years from this now. But I'm saying like I was like, is it going to be some kind of like they're going to be the descendants of whoever that group is at the end or something like that? But like, are they related to that? What's the deal with these weird Japanese people that he randomly meets? But like the fact that they were just turned on him, I was like, oh, I really like them. Also, I was thinking like he finally has another group of people he can deal with, and like a plot line that's going somewhere. Hopefully, and it's just like, nope, they're asshole villains.
Yeah, they're asshole kind of villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least we got to learn one important fact. Alucard is bi.
That was Well,
Alucard is bi.
You can look up and if you can figure that out.
You could just literally look at Alucard and be like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, on a scale of surprised or not surprised, the end result of the Hector scene.
Absolutely not surprised.
Yeah, right?
Dude. I think that I genuinely think that Lenore has feelings for him, but I was like, yeah, no, she's tricking him right now.
And here's the thing: as a viewer and as someone who deals with a person who plays characters exactly like this, you'll understand what I'm saying. You could see. Every time she talked to Hector, you could just see that there were signs of manipulation. And that she was literally saying all the right things to make him warm up. You could. I'm not very good at the whole charisma, like actually manipulating things. But every time she was talking to him, I'm like, okay, so she's gonna break him eventually because first off, they beat the shit out of him. Of course. They put him in a prison, and now all of a sudden someone's being nice. But then you get to see more, and yes, you see some feelings developing between the two of them.
Absolutely,
but you also can catch on. Okay, yes. There are some truths. Unfortunately, that's the thing about Lenore. She's not necessarily lying to him.
She's a diplomat. That's the point. She's a politician. She knows how to get what she wants.
Saying the right. Yeah. She is saying the right things. The wrong things right. That makes it so it clicks.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, yes, good. And I'm glad that Netflix, that this Castlevania series, I'm glad they did that right. They didn't just make her a mustache twirling like,
yeah, she was legit. Watching her from beginning to end, you are like, is she on the level or is she not? What's going on?
Right, yeah. But so I'm glad that they played that correctly.
Very, very well done.
And I'm not even going to ask about the other two because, one of them has yet to wrap up. A.k.a. the Lindenfeld one. But the other one, we already knew that Isaac wasn't going to be like, I'm mind controlled.
Yeah, he lost. And he's dead now. But like I said, that fight scene, honestly, that whole section is probably one of my favorite scenes of the season. We'll get to it when we get to the end. But I love that bit. That was great.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. That is one of the better fights.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just so good for me personally. I'm like, no, wait, this is how they made Legion in this? Because, you can't have... It's like... They say you can't have Castlevania without Dracula. Points at the game, I forget, was like something of Shadows, where you play as Hector, and the final boss is not Dracula. And then you have the Lament of Sorrow or something like that, where it was Leon Belmont, where the final boss was, not Dracula. So, but what do a lot of these have in common to make it a Castlevania game? A big ball of bodies.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, either way, this episode, this was really good, and leading up to, it's weird because it has a story that's actually gonna wrap up, but it has a whole lot of things that have not been concluded yet.
Oh yeah. It was a build-up to the finale, which is now, yeah.
Yep. And speaking of which, the final episode of this episode,
episode 10. Abandon all hope. Ye who winter here.
No. Just abandon all hope.
Just the first part.
Yeah, come on. We're not talking about Dante and his fanfiction about how he met Virgil.
Yeah,
that's a different video game altogether.
Much cool, but very, very cool game.
We start at the place where Isaac had won the battle.
Yeah, he's kind of eating berries, sitting on a...
No.
Is this one?
He's walking into the tower,
and
he's trying to find the mirror.
Yeah, trying to find the giant.
He's like, where's the mirror? Where's the mirror? And he finds it. And one of my favorite lines, if I have to call you sir, I'm going to give up on everything. And all he does is he claps, sees Miranda, the old lady, and apparently she could see him too, because she's like, yeah, I'm holding up my pipe, I see you did well.
Uh-huh.
And of course, everything's fast. And now, he literally has his own city, he has his own tower, and now he has his own huge...
Yeah.
We're talking really big guys. Not just in season 2. We're not talking about a transmission mirror that Dracula had. Which was big, don't get me wrong. That's a big mirror. No, we're talking the size of one of your walls. The size of an entire freaking wall.
Yeah. And also, to your point, he does tell the night creatures, okay, bring me some bodies, I'm going to start making some armies. But he does mention killing survivors, which means that there were some people who were still alive.
Yes. He was like, kill them, I need bodies, but, so he's wrapping up. He's wrapped up. He's good. We go back to Lindenfeld, where we see, Sypha, Saint Germain, and Trevor in the basement.
Yeah.
And,
they see the giant portal to hell. What's going on?
And they actually see, it leading to Dracula, and they're like, No. We are not going to have this happen. Germain, work on the portal. And as he's talking, as Germain's about to, more demons come out.
Yeah, a specific set of real weirdos.
Yeah, we'll get to it at the end of the episode, but one of them I know very well. One of them kind of looks similar to one, but like we have like this weird like one lion with like 3 eyes, 4 legs, and like a bow and arrow.
With like a weirdly like blank face. That's the weird thing about it. Like, it sounds very bizarre, but I think these probably are like, well, that one specifically anyway feels like a specific like
I think it is,
like,
and I'll
picture.
Get to that.
No, I mean like not even Castlevania reference, but like a specific like picture of some kind of specific demon.
Right.
Like
and then we have a creature that looks like literal Cthulhu.
Yeah, literal, just a weird little Cthulhu idiot, and then we have another one of those cool seraph things.
Yeah, another seraph thing, and then something else happens.
Mm-hmm.
The demon who opened the portal and everything, he breaks out and starts fighting too.
He's also huge and like covered in faces of all the people. He does like a big giant fireball.
Yep.
Of like fiery screaming fireball.
Oh yeah.
And this is when we cut to the outside. We see the fight with the judge and the men-at-arms are still fighting the monks.
And Sala's like, I'm gonna run.
Yeah,
and the judge is like, hey, no, you're not. You're a madman. Why the hell would you get stabbed?
Yeah, Sala stabs
like,
him. And just like,
it's gonna be like that, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, but you're already dead.
Like, you bested me, Sala. Now I'm going to tell you how to get out of here and live.
He's like, you bested me, so now it's time for you to... And if you paid attention, he gives the exact same directions he gave to the child.
Yeah.
He's like, when you get to the apple tree... Well, except for he adds, when you get to the apple tree, look around and you'll see the path to your safety. And Sala's like, why are you helping me? He's like, because... It seems that you were right all along.
Yeah, we fought for the soul of the city, and you won, and you bested me, so that's your reward. You get to escape.
Yep, and then of course we go back down where we see the fight going on, and Germain's like, I can't control this infinite corridor. Yeah, looks over to the giant like behemoth looking thing.
Yeah,
which by the way, earlier. As Trevor's fighting this thing, it keeps dying.
He keeps like attacking it and like doing the gigantic cut explosions that are done by the Morning Star, but it's still not killing it somehow. Yeah. And then you see the big giant wounds all healing. And he says it's fueled by the souls of all the people that it's killed. So he's like, I gotta kill them multiple times.
I gotta kill them multiple times. And they said that this place doesn't have a good nightlife.
Yeah, and then of course the intercut with that is Sypha taking out all the other really cool with all of her awesome magic, taking out the other. Specific demon guys that are around there too.
Yep, and first off, we get to see a new technique that Sypha does because there's a whole lot of water on the ground. What does she do? Does she ice them? No, she does a new technique that we've never seen until just now.
Yeah,
she is the best lightning bender ever. Yep, she actually like gets some lightning and she actually touches the ground and kills weird lion guy.
Dude. She blows up the Cthulhu dude, like a whole bunch of more of the Seraphim guys.
And then we see Saint Germain like, I can't close the portal, I can't control it. Looks at giant behemoth of souls and he's like, but you can. Jumps up, grabs him by his fucking head, and he's just like, give me what I want, show me what I want. He
sticks the little infinite corridor gem that he got from the woman, he sticks it in one of its eyes.
Oh yeah, that's right, he jabs it, and he's like,
towards the portal saying, show me where it is.
And so, as Dracula is like actually reaching out towards the portal, it closes completely.
It doesn't close it, it changes to...
Well, no, it does close that one, but then, as he's like, show me, damn you, show me what I want, it reopens to that library place.
Yeah, MC Escher stairs.
So he runs in, he's like, Belmont, kill him. And all of a sudden we see like Trevor get two whips out. The Morning Star and his old one.
Yeah.
Combines them this big old fire thing and he just fucking murders everything.
Yeah.
And as that happens, of course, the portal starts to close and Saint Germain's like, we'll meet again.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me here.
We'll meet again.
And then we'll meet again. And then he's gone.
Yeah, and then we see outside that they find the judge dying. He's just saying, hey, you guys made it out. Saint Germain, don't worry, he's dead. What are you talking about? And this is when we cut to him running into the forest. Because it cuts back to him, he tells him to burn his house.
Well, he's like, hey, you said Saint Germain, by the way. Oh, Sala,
I remember talking about Sala. I was going to say Saint Germain.
I killed Sala, don't worry. But then he says one last thing before it cuts to that. Burn my house down.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
burn my house down. And then he actually dies. We cut to Sala running, following the path. We see the apple tree. And as he's standing there like, ooh, it's an apple tree, he falls into a pitfall trap and gets hit, a pitfall trap with spikes on the bottom, and he's fucking dead.
Yep, he's dead. I think now they do cut to, I want to say...
Dracula's Castle.
Dracula's Castle they cut to
now
before the rest of the scene? Yeah.
Because now, in Dracula's castle, it's like, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh, yeah. Alucard's looking around, he's all tied up. He's like, what the hell are you two doing?
Taka and Sumi are like, yeah, you've been hiding things from us. You're a liar.
Yeah, and
you're like everyone
we've been going around
else.
and everyone's been lying and not treating us fairly, and so, like, you're just like everybody else. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Like, what are you talking about? I never lied. I was literally, like, we're supposed to believe that. And so they get ready to kill him. And what does Alucard do? He uses his fucking sword, of course.
Yeah, his sword familiar just spins around.
Yep, just spins around and just like slits both of their throats in one fell swoop.
Yep.
And then he's just like, I told you. I told you my father never used them. I never said I didn't use them.
Yeah, and then he's like, while they're dead, he like lies there crying. He's like, I never lied to you guys. I wasn't.
Yeah, and then of course when they die, kind of like the whole mind control thing, the binds like loosen up and everything. And then of course, I like this scene a little bit because right as the sword like slits their throats, you see like one of the tapestries immediately falls over them.
Yeah.
It's I'm like, I don't know why, but it's like a very nice artistic touch.
Then it comes back to them discovering Sala at this point because it does like cut between this and that.
They go back. You see Sala is dead and. Trevor
and Cypher's like, there are a bunch of other bones down there.
Very small bones. But then they actually go back to the house, and it's like, and the Cypher's like, he did say to burn it, and Trevor goes, you know what? I want to walk in here first.
Yeah, I want to check something out. Yeah, and he's like,
and you can see like at this point,
they're both kind of like stern like.
Well, Trevor has like a look in his because he's like usually like whatever usually like blank a more blank expression but this time he has like a fucking serious like I need to see something. Unlocks that door.
Yeah.
And opens it up. Sypha like puts a light up to see what's going on, and there were a lot of small boots and like different things. And of course she's like, it clicks. The small bones. Those different clothings. Oh no! And we cut.
Trevor flashes back to something he said earlier in the season.
So something it's like, what? Oh, you're a judge. Isn't this like boring? Isn't this like a boring job? And the judge mentions it has its little pleasures.
Yeah, and he's just like his little pleasure. He's really pissed off. Look at his face.
Oh yeah, and then of course they walk out and Sypha burns the fuck out of the place. Yeah. And all she is like, I want to leave now and never look back.
Yep.
Cut to
Dracula's castle where... Yeah, or not Dracula, Carmilla's castle.
Carmilla's castle.
And we see the sisters have a meeting.
Well, three of them are.
Yeah.
We need to do plans and blah, blah, blah plans. Everything's going horrible. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the argument. The argument was, Miranda. Yeah, Morana. She's a genius. Carmilla's like, bitch, I'm the genius. Striga's like, no. Morana, she is genius. Lenore walks in and goes, hi. Time for me to reveal some big things. Not with him in there. No. Hold on a second.
Like, hey, no.
So here's the thing. I made him swear fealty to me while he was in me, and gives them all rings. He's got a slave ring on. So you guys wanted to know, hey, all the night creatures are under his control, right? Yeah. So what happened was I had our magicians make rings like these. We put these on. He makes night creatures, and they are under his control, which in turn is in my control, which is in turn is under our control.
Yeah, we can all control.
And if he tries to leave or anything like that, it'll be like a searing pain, a really nice big pain. However, the trade-off is he gets to roam around free in the castle, and we need to build him a house. He's going to live as well as we do.
Yeah.
And
it's like, no. It's like, hey, come on.
Yeah, even better is, like, Hector's like, wait. Shush. The real people are talking. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I love that. That was great.
But then after Lenore says all of this, it's just like all three of them are like the other three are just like, oh, wow. You know what? We concede. You're the genius.
She's the genius.
And then, of course, she makes a comment about how, we need a really big bed because he's really good at fucking. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was like, ew,
that's
that
gross.
shit.
And then, of course, Hector has a breakdown.
Like, in the hallway, he's like, oh, what did I do? My life is over.
My life is over. What? No, I gave you exactly what you needed. I made you my pet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like, that is hilarious. That's like, yeah, perfect then for Hector.
Cut back to the wagon where Sypha and and they actually no, I don't even think they're in a wagon. I think they're just walking.
It's their same thing that they're in before.
Yeah, okay. In it. Yeah. And then of course Sypha's like, everything went wrong. What happened? And Trevor's like, we got lost in living your life.
Yeah, we spent the last couple of months living your life. And it was fun
victories and everything. But now we're living my life. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, yeah, so true. And then the final scene. We cut back to Dracula's castle, where you see, Alucard just outside. He just turns around and he goes, I could have put up some signs, but I think this works better.
It worked for my dad for so long.
It worked for dear old dad for so long. And you see the corpses of Taka and Sumi on pikes outside. And the doors close. And that is where season 3 ends.
Yep, the end of the season, and I'm like,
holy shit!
Wow.
So first off, those creatures in the basement.
Yeah.
I don't know, cause have you ever seen or watched or have played any of the GBA Aria of Sorrow?
I just said I've never played any Castlevania games.
I
never done one of them.
Not even watched is what I'm saying.
No, not even watched.
Okay. So there's these weird wheel creatures with lion heads called Bur Buer. I can never pronounce that demon name. Anyway, I feel like that lion with the archer lion was supposed to be like that because it had like 4 hooved legs.
Yeah.
As well, so I'm like, is that supposed to be that? But the weird Cthulhu looking thing, it actually underwent a few changes. In Symphony of the Night, in the original Symphony of the Night, that thing right there is literally called a Cthulhu.
That's funny.
In Aria of Sorrow, where they rehashed a bunch of enemies, they actually named it Malachi for some reason. I'm like, I don't get it, but weird flex, but okay. But it's just Cthulhu. It's literally just a Cthulhu thing.
Yeah, it's like a weird little Lovecraftian little Cthulhu weird freak. But yeah, it's such a cool monster design all around.
It really was, and oh my goodness. Now, Matt.
Yeah.
So, this is the end of season 3.
Hell yeah.
Your thoughts on the series up to this point?
I absolutely love all of the action. I fucking love all the storylines for everybody for the most part. I was saying the one gripe that I had, like I said earlier about this the series going on is that not even the hero team, because I really liked Alucard's whole storyline this season. I was upset about how it ended, but I still liked the most of it. Mm-hmm. I think that Trevor and Sypha unfortunately get the short end of the stick in terms of interesting stuff to do for them for the most part, or maybe it's just I'm not.
For season 3?
I'm saying for the most part for even last couple seasons. Remember in season 2 I mentioned how even with Alucard their whole team had the very boring minor background whatever plot of just going about the good guy storyline of doing whatever, beating the bad guys. Other than that, they're kind of just treading water, while all of the morally gray and straight up evil characters have a ton of stuff going on and have a ton of different dynamics, a ton of different motivations that are going on. By I was saying it's kind of like I pitched for a movie garbage episode coming up in Warcraft, kind of like how in World of Warcraft, both sides, the Horde and Alliance, are always upset with how much respect or love the other side gets. In terms of one side, the Horde feel like the protagonists, but the Alliance are always the heroes.
Right.
And how the heroes are always just reacting to whatever the other group is doing. They're never really actively having anything of their own. They're never actively the main people of the story. They're just the good guys doing the good guy thing, going to stop the bad guys who are doing cool, interesting stuff with cool, interesting characters.
A greater example than World of Warcraft. Yeah. Both of the Warcraft 3 games, Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne. We're gonna focus on the third one right there, because big weird some weird prophet guy goes to the humans and stuff is hey. This bad thing is going to happen. What do? They do what humans do best. Shut the fuck up. We're in control. he goes to the Horde, the orcs specifically.
For all
and
of them,
what happens? He goes, something big's gonna happen. And what do the orcs do? Shit, we gotta do something about this.
Yeah, and then he creates eventually what's gonna be the Horde. But it feels like
it's like you said,
yeah,
like
they're doing stuff.
The Alliance is like, we're the heroes, but the Horde is more of the good guys.
They're the protagonists, literally the actual meaning of the word. They're the ones who move the story forward. Just like how, in this series, I think that, Hector, Isaac, Carmilla's group, even Saint Germain and even the fucking Sala and those guys are, protagonists in terms that they're actually moving the story forward and doing stuff. Whereas the good guy people are just kind of reacting to what everyone else is doing and, coming in later to, try to defeat the evil, but other than that, they're pretty passive in what they're doing for the most part.
That's going to be a very important point, actually, when we get to season 4.
Yeah.
Because, the way you phrased it, the other two, Sypha and Trevor, just reacting. In season 4, that actually becomes an important part.
Yeah. But
we're not going to get there yet.
But that's why I'm saying, once again, I've said for the past 2 seasons, not even the season 2, they felt so ancillary to whatever Dracula and Carmilla and Hector and Isaac were doing last season. It feels like that same kind of minor issue with the series has continued in this season. For everyone else is doing much more cooler shit. Everyone else is actively having a plot happen around them, but the other two are just kind of eventually catching up and stopping it. But but other than that, I loved everything that was going on with Isaac's whole arc was fucking fantastic this season.
God, right.
The giant psychic fight in the tower was fucking great. Everything was I really liked what was it, Taka and Sumi. I wish they stuck around, and I wish they were on the level, and I felt like
you wish they were good guys and not just secretly
not even good. Yeah, even if they still had the mentality that they had, and he didn't kill them, but just stopped them somehow. I would have liked that more than them dying and being out of the show.
And honestly, they're not really bad because, they've been burned by things before, so they were just reacting to that.
Yeah, I said every single person we've met has been taking advantage of us or trying to screw us over or was lying to us. They're doing the same thing. He's like, no, I'm being genuine with you guys. They didn't believe him.
Right.
But they were, for the most part, they could have been good guys.
So, of the brand new characters, because honestly, my answer is one of the older characters if I ask this, but of the characters season 3 specific, who was your favorite and why? I know, difficult because there's a lot of good new characters in this.
Whoa! Let's see. I'm about to say just in terms of straight up introduced in season 3. It's difficult. Yeah, because I can't say that fucking wizard because he literally had no lines, but he just was a cool ass dude.
You're allowed to say that.
I know, but no, I think Taka.
I think your favorite.
I think Taka and Sumi are probably the characters I was most invested in this season.
Right. Then again, I mean, knowing that they had a background with one of Dracula's court and everything like that, and they literally came to Alucard, the Alucard.
Yeah, the Alucard. They actually had a whole cool dynamic with him, and they were going to be students of his.
Right.
And I really was just looking forward to what those characters were going to do, but then they're bad end for them. But I'm how me story wise, I'm always perfectly fine with a sudden and unfortunate and even unceremonious end for characters who have a lot going on and a lot of build up. I love that. That's why I love Game of Thrones so much and stuff like that. And my narratives whenever I write stories, these characters with a whole long important back. They're killed. Who cares? They're killed in an incident or whatever offhandedly. That's always interesting to me. But I'm upset personally. I wish they stuck around.
I'm gonna pull one of these villain air quote villains and air quote good guys thing. Because I have 2 that are actually tied for me. One of them is actually very surprising. So I'll do the one that's not very surprising. I fucking loved Striga.
I do too. I wish that she had more to do in this season.
Right. I think the way I see it is in this season, the vampire sisters did not have much except for Lenore. Obviously, she
had a whole bunch. Yeah.
Because, first off, it was an introduction to the characters.
Of course.
And secondly, because literally all the sisters could not do anything until Hector was on their side somehow. Yeah. So yes, I agree. They should have had more going for all of them, even Carmilla, who only appeared in second season. But we had to focus on Lenore and how she was going to manipulate Hector into joining them. But I do agree with you. If they had more going for them in this season, they would have been a little better. For you, at least, they would have probably been a little better. But for me, Striga was just because she's the war hardened.
Yeah, she's fucking awesome.
But as well as when the scene when she and her girlfriend, I see. Morana, they were talking in the daytime.
Yeah.
And when Morana, sorry, for some reason I always have to say it with the roll. When she was talking about how they can just hire mercenaries and stuff, Striga's first response to that was, "There's no honor in that." So she's not just a mindless fucking barbarian. Yeah. She actually has a code, an honor system to herself.
Absolutely.
I'm like, it's a small detail, but I like that. And come on, her and Morana, they are so goddamn cute together.
Adorable. I was gonna say, like, bringing up Game of Thrones again, it feels like they've written themselves not into a corner, but like how shitty things were for Hector at the end of last season. They had to do something to justify what way he could possibly end up working for Carmilla because of how shitty everything turned out. But like just having that whole group of people never leave that castle, only in that castle, discussing plans, discussing how army's gonna work, discussing what their goals are gonna be. Like, that is very Game of Thrones, like a whole, like, a set of characters just in one area the entire, like, season, but it's incredibly compelling because it is so interesting, and the characters are all so well written and so interesting. It's
like Lenore said about the sun. Yeah. I'll just take your word for it, because I'm one of those weirdos.
Yeah.
I was not... I gave it a chance. This man right here was kind enough to let me borrow Season 1.
Yeah.
But... I gave it a 3-episode watch. I just could not get into Game of Thrones.
You're a fool. You want to try it again?
You know what?
Or read the book.
Whatever. I may be a fool. I may be whatever. I just do not find. I see the appeal, but it is not for me.
I get it. I have a good podcast for you. I got to suggest you. But anyway.
But I told you. Now for the good guy, air quote. Mm-hmm. This is the one that's more surprising because even I was surprised when I liked it. When I saw this, I actually was very invested in Saint Germain.
Yeah,
because at first he was just a charlatan. You could tell he was a charlatan.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, look at me! I know things. Here's some money. Let me have some. Oh. But as the season went by, you actually not only learned more about his ambition and his intentions, but you actually get to see a more serious side to him.
Yeah.
He is kind of like Trevor because he has been traveling alone for a long, long time because he lost something very important to him.
Yeah.
And so he's going to go through all of these lengths, and he just really needs someone to talk to kind of thing. But it's so funny because in some of the games that he's in, he has a bit of a minor role, actually. Like, in, I forget what it's called. I forget which Castlevania game it is. But he does play a role where, like, he and Trevor actually, like, have talked a little bit of times and stuff. But that's it. He's not... He's, like, one of those weird, like, what the fuck is going on? But he doesn't really have a giant role. He's got a big role.
Yeah.
But he's not a giant... Like, in this series, he's got a... I can already tell that he had a really big part in everything. And I like that. Important. I like that.
I was going to say, in terms of, to tie in with what you said, I was going to go into next favorite scenes. Well, number one, like I already gushed about the fucking,
you and I can agree.
The psychic versus the warlock fight was fucking amazing. Tied for that, though, is the sequence where he first goes into the Infinite Corridor, because I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
because the giant fucking Magitech walker, the fucking weird cyberpunk pyramid thing, the fucking spaceship, the fucking weird aboriginal guy. I was like, what the fuck is is this future season stuff? Is this somehow context in the actual, like, for the rest of the series, or is this a game reference? Are these references things that happen in the game? Because I know they're going to future somehow, but there's no fucking spaceships in Castlevania. Like, what the fuck is this stuff?
Surprisingly enough, I can promise you this right now, all of those things we saw really have nothing to do with Castlevania.
Yeah, I know. Before watching the next season, I looked up. I was like, what the fuck is any of this stuff? And like, is this reference to future games or something? And it's just like, nope. It was just a weird thing that happened.
Yeah, it was just fucking
weird.
But
then also, I looked up the scenes with Saint Germain. He was from the game with Hector and Isaac. The PS2 one, I think it was PS1 or PS2 game. I looked up the scenes because it was just like at the end of the game after everything's wrapped up with Hector and his sister, who I guess the story was about. he's just sitting there. He's like a weird, like, blonde top hat wearing weird asshole. And he's just like, so that's how things ended up, huh? Well, maybe I'll just travel to the future and see how things turn out in the future for them. I'll see how things are like in another time period. And he kind of, yeah, literally. And he like kind of just disappears, being goofy, and like goes into the future for no reason just so he can time travel. And that's his whole gimmick. I'm like, what the fuck is with this character?
Yeah, but see, now with this, we actually have a connection to that.
Yeah, and also the Infinite Corridor. It's like, it says like, yeah, he's a weird guy and he can like travel through portals or travel through time and space, and like, that's it. That's the end of the character's description. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Doesn't make any fucking sense. So seeing all these weird things, that was like, yeah, the cool ass magic fight. But then the Infinite Corridor sequence had my fucking brain like reeling when I first watched it. Like, what the fuck is all this stuff? They have to explain it, right? It has to go somewhere. But yeah, of course. Favorite scene, yeah.
I will. The only thing, don't get me wrong, the scene about Isaac taking the town over.
Yeah.
Sorry, the city over. Don't get me wrong, it is a very good scene. And it had a few references that I understood, but I would not say that is my all-time favorite one. I mean, because, my all-time favorite one actually was, you already described it, where we actually, for the first time ever, got to see inside the Infinite Corridor. Mm-hmm. Like, just the fact that they were doing, like, travel through time and space and all that stuff, because all we had was a description of what it was. We actually got to see how it worked, how it ran, what it looked like, and how it could easily make someone go insane, because as he had said earlier, he couldn't control it.
Yeah.
He had no power over it. So, like in the dream sequence, it was just random door, random door, random door, random door, and all he was is like, please, I just want to go where I need to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, nope. But then, of course, we found out you need, like, to sacrifice something of your soul or something like that. And we saw, a whole bunch of souls inside the creature. And he was instantly allowed to have full control over it. I like this. I like this concept a lot. Especially, like the whole, like, just traveling through dimensions and stuff like that. It has a very Lovecraftian feel to it.
It's very, very trippy and very cool.
But other than that, I think that would be my all-time favorite scene. And, I mean, I'm a sucker for seeing, my two, well, three if Alucard were there, favorites just fucking killing a bunch of demons and stuff.
Yeah, the coolest fight sequence.
My final thought on this, however, is oh no, spoiler warning rolls my eyes. Of all 4 seasons, my favorite character, which was determined even before season 4 came out, this was determined well before season 4, and even when season 4 came out, it never changed. My favorite character now is Isaac. He started off as like Hector. He started off as a person who's like, I fucking hate humans, let them all die.
Yeah.
But Isaac in season 3, he was conflicted. He was fighting his personal morals versus what other people were like, how they were, I should say very few, treated him. Yeah. Hell, even the captain, like the biggest drive for him was like, like one of the greatest guys. And of course, when he got to the place he wanted, the captain left and everyone was like, I'm a dick, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
But that also allowed Isaac not only to think about the world around him, but how he treats his night creatures. He actually had a conversation with one of them. Yeah. First time we see them doing it, it's just like, summon, kill, summon, kill, summon, kill.
Yeah, they'll also never see any of them speak, and they're just like mindless monsters. He says which one of you can speak, and one of them does come forward. And it's like, I'm going to agree with you. I think Isaac is probably my favorite character of the whole series.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely. And I'm glad they gave him the time they needed to have him flesh out the character that he is now.
Yeah.
This series does a very good job with a lot of things. I will tell you there is one gripe, but it happens in season 4. Okay. And it's very minuscule compared to, some of the other things we can talk about. Of course. But
when we get there, we'll get there.
But we are...
Oh, I wanted to say, I don't know how you feel personally, but I was saying, so far, because I know we do this all the time in Movie Garbage, and we did it for Korra, actually. So far, season rankings wise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think I honestly after season 3, I have to go probably in terms of like rewatchability, in terms of new characters, in terms of storylines, probably go 3, 2, 1, top to bottom.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because don't get me wrong, and for all of you listening in, just like with Legend of Korra, aside from Legend of Korra season 2. We're not saying that
not saying it's bad,
any of these seasons are bad. In fact, all of these seasons are really fucking good.
Oh yeah.
It's just for me. It's 3, 2, 1. But season 1, I kind of don't count as its own season.
It feels like one 45-minute to an hour long movie. But it's also like compared to the other season, it feels like practically one scene or 2 scenes actually. Dracula wins with his wife, and then Alucard fighting in the city. It seems like it's like that's it. Like it seems like it's two scenes.
Alucard didn't even get the fight.
Alucard, I mean Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like just like him and his wife, cool setup, and then just immediately into...
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But yeah, honestly, I would just count seasons 1 and 2 as just one season.
They might as well have been, yeah. They really should have been.
But I do understand, because if the story I heard was true, I may have mentioned this in an earlier cast for all you listeners, but season 1 was a test. It was only 4 episodes long because they wanted to see how well it was going to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they have 4 seasons.
Yeah,
and another spoiler, air quote, season 4 is the last season of Castlevania. Everyone, even if you haven't seen it, everyone knows that by now. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, it was well received.
Absolutely.
And so, of course, season 2, now we're going to make it normal, air quote again. Because I think that season 2 was only 8 episodes long.
Of course.
Which actually makes sense. Because seasons 3 and 4 are 10 episodes long. So, it's only slightly longer than a normal season. Yeah. But they might as well have been the same season.
Of course.
But yeah, either way,
season 3 was great, and I really enjoyed it.
It's one of those series where each subsequent season gets better.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see where season 4 ends when we cover that next time.
Right.
But
right now, I have been busy with a lot of things, so I don't have any shameless plugs still.
Okay.
You, on the other hand, you have been busy.
Well, yeah, sure. Let's say Forgotten Minotaur King. Buy the book. Forgotten Minotaur King. Listen to the podcast and review it. Matthew Podcast on Twitter, Matthew Podcast on YouTube, Matthew Podcast Gmail if you want to Gmail me for whatever the fuck reason. On Patreon, same thing, Matthew Podcasts. But then, of course, my other podcast, Movie Garbage, what I do with my co-host Ed, fucking fantastic. Check that show out.
Seriously, listen to some of those
Hell
episodes.
Yeah! And
they're amazing.
But yeah, those are my plugs, and I hope you guys pick up our stuff.
But now, the biggest question, the final question before we wrap everything up. You are a famous man with a famous book. When audiobook?
Shut the hell up, Ben. But actually, I might post it soon. The follow-up series to the Forgotten Minotaur King, just set in our tabletop world of Indignia. Perna and Mars Mysteries of Indignia I might start posting that in between these episodes.
The indignity.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Yep. That's this has Ben and Matt with Action Toon Bros. With Action Shoe Brothers. Yeah. With Action Toon Brothers. And as we always say when we sign off,
keep it sleazy.